The world of One Piece is full of monsters, pirates who can destroy entire islands, marines powerful enough to change the course of wars, and legendary figures whose names still shake the world. So today we're ranking the 20 strongest characters in the world of One Piece. And don't worry, this video is completely spoiler-free, so anyone can enjoy it. Opening this list at number 20 is the swordsman of the Straw Hat Pirates, Roronoa Zoro. Zoro has always been one of the most reliable fighters in the crew. From the start of the journey, he showed incredible endurance, discipline, and a clear goal to becoming the world's greatest swordsman. Throughout the story, Zoro constantly proves why he deserves a place among the strongest fighters. His three-sword style alone makes him one of the most dangerous swordsmen in the seas. But what truly separates Zoro from many fighters is his willpower. Moments like Thriller Bark showed that Zoro is willing to sacrifice everything for his captain. But as strong as Zoro is, there are still monsters above him. Taking the 19th spot is Akatsuki Oden. Oden wasn't just a powerful samurai. He was a warrior who sailed with the greatest pirates in history. First with Whitebeard, and later with Gold D. Roger himself. That alone tells you the level he was fighting at. But the moment that truly defines Oden's strength is his battle against Kaido. In that fight, Oden managed to do something very few people ever did. He wounded Kaido. The scar Kaido still carries today came from Oden's blades, Enma and Amy no Habakiri. And if you know how terrifying Kaido is, you understand how insane that feat really was. Scopper Gaban is a man surrounded by mystery. Many fans talk about Roger and Rayleigh, but fewer remember the third pillar of the Roger pirates, Gaban. In the Pirate King's crew, strength wasn't optional. Everyone there was a monster, and Gaban stood among the strongest of them. We haven't seen the full extent of his abilities yet, but surviving the new world alongside Roger already says enough. Still, even a warrior from the Pirate King's crew, they are still 17 character. At number 17, we arrive at Sakazuki Akainu, the current fleet admiral of the Marines. Akainu's power comes from one of the most strongest damage devil fruits in the series, the Magu Magu no Mi, a force capable of burning through almost anything. But what truly makes Akainu frightening isn't just his ability, it's his mindset. In his fight against Whitebeard, Akainu managed to inflict fatal blows and obliterate half of Edward's body. Akainu believes in absolute justice. Once he decides someone is an enemy, even a Marin Solidar, he doesn't stop. And in a world filled with pirates, emperors, and legends, a man like that becomes incredibly dangerous. Taking the 16th place is Charlotte Linlin. Big Mom isn't just powerful, her story itself is disturbing. As a child, during a moment of uncontrolled hunger, she went on one of her eating frenzies. And when it ended, Mother Carmel and everyone around her were gone. From that point on, her power became even more terrifying. With the Soru Soru no Mi, she can manipulate souls, take lifespan, and create living weapons. And in battle, you're not just fighting her, you're fighting an entire system of power surrounding her. Her durability, her strength, her presence, everything about her feels overwhelming. Number 15 is the Buddha Sengoku. Sengoku isn't just a strategist, he's a top-tier fighter. During the Marineford War, he transformed into his giant Buddha form and unleashed shockwaves powerful enough to shake the entire battlefield. He wasn't just watching the war, he was controlling it, standing at the center of the Marines alongside Garp, leading, deciding, calculating every move. In a world full of chaos, Sengoku was one of the few who could actually control it. At number 14, we reach to Marshal D. Teach, Blackbeard. This is the man who killed one of the Whitebeard crew Thatch just to steal his yammy yammy no mi. The man who later went to Marineford and in front of everyone stole Whitebeard's power, 2 devil fruits, darkness that pulls everything in, and earthquakes that can destroy the world. Also, he is one of the candidates to be the last enemy of Luffy. And what makes Blackbeard truly terrifying is that everything he does feels planned. Every move, every step, like he's building towards something much bigger. Still, even someone like him isn't at the top. Number 13, Silver's Rayleigh, the right-hand man of Gold D. Roger. He is mastering all of the 3 haki. Also, he is the man who stands with the king of pirates. In his against Marco, he stopped him with just a finger. But what makes Rayleigh truly impressive is not just his past, it's what he can still do. In Sabaudi, when Admiral Kizaru appeared, Rayleigh stepped in and stopped him with his pure skills and haki. And that alone puts him on another level. Monkey D. Dragon, the leader of the Revolutionary Army, and the most wanted man alive. We haven't seen his full power yet, but everything around him tells you one thing. This man is on a completely different level. Storms appear when he shows up, and the world government treats him as a direct threat. But here's the part that makes it even more interesting. Dragon is the son of Garp, the hero of the Marines, and the father of Luffy. Think about that for a second. A man raised by one of the strongest Marines in history, and the father of someone who is changing the entire world. There's no way someone like that is not powerful. And the scariest part, we still haven't seen what he can truly do. At number 11, we reach the Gorosei. For a long time, they looked like nothing more than old men sitting in a room. But that image completely changed the moment they stepped onto the battlefield. During their confrontation with Luffy, they transformed into monsters with strong haki and power. And even though Luffy's attacks that should have ended the fight did nothing, because no matter the damage, they kept coming back. And that's exactly what makes them terrifying. It's not just their strength, it's their ability to regenerate, to the point where they feel almost immortal. That's the only reason they stand this high on the list. They are still 10 character to cover, and let's continue with Kaido, the man known as the strongest creature in the world. Kaido isn't just powerful, he's built for war, captured multiple times, sentenced to death, and still, nothing could kill him. In Wano we saw exactly why. He fought against the worst generation, tanked attack after attack, and kept standing. Even after being scarred, even after being pushed, he kept fighting like it meant nothing. His devil fruit, his durability, his raw strength, everything about Kaido screams one thing. If it's a one-on-one fight, he wins. Number 9. Monkey D. Luffy. From the moment he entered the new world, things started changing. But in Wano, everything shifted. Luffy didn't just get stronger. He reached a point where his fighting style itself became unpredictable. When he awakened his power, the battlefield stopped following normal rules. The ground moved, his attacks became impossible to read, and even someone like Kaido started taking him seriously. Luffy fights with freedom, no limits, no fear, and that's exactly what makes him so dangerous, because against someone like him, you can't predict what comes next. At number 8, Draculae Mihawk, the strongest swordsman in the world, the man standing at the end of Zoro's journey. Every attack is calculated. He is the only one who traveled to the world alone, and he has one of the biggest bounty in all of One Piece. Also, he is the rival of Shanks, and when Shanks loses his arm, Mihawk doesn't want to fight him anymore. In Marineford, one casual slash from him cut across the battlefield like it was nothing, and even fighters like Vista could only hold him back for a moment. Mihawk isn't trying to prove anything. He already stands at the top. At number 7, we meet Red Hair Shanks. Shanks is one of the 4th emperor, and the man who traveled with the Pirate King when he was children. Also, he is the one who inherited Roger's hat, which is now in Luffy's possession. He doesn't chase battles, but the moment he appears, everything changes. In Marineford, when Shanks arrived, the war stopped because no one can fight him. Even admirals and Blackbeard pirates run out. And later, when he released his haki from a distance, that let Ryokugyu fear from him and left. Also, he is the one who mastered the observation haki that even Hino kids attack and almost kill him with just one attack. Shanks doesn't dominate with destruction, he dominates with presence. We are now at number 6, Monkey D. Garp, the hero of the Marines. A man who never needed a devil fruit, because his raw power alone was enough to shake the world. This is the same Garp who stood side by side with Gold D. Roger. And together, they crushed Rox D. Xebec and his entire crew at God Valley. That crew had monsters like Whitebeard, Kaido, and Big Mom. And Garp walked into that battlefield and came out victorious. That's not normal strength. That's history-changing power. And even years later, he didn't slow down. In Marineford, Garp one-shot Marco in his Phoenix form. And it doesn't stop there. In the more recent events, Garp clashed directly with Okaji. And now we step into a different level. At number 5, a man who could shake the entire world. Whitebeard, the man who was nicknamed as the strongest man in the world. Also, he is the rival of Goldie Roger, and the one who confirmed that he is equal strong as him. In Marineford, he fight all the Marin and Blackbeard pirate. All of that, and he was sick. Also, he was almost killing Akainu, and shake the entire the Marine with his devil fruit. During his prime, after left the Rocks crew, he created his own, and joined multiple allies as his children. Even he's a pirate. His dream is not to look for the One Piece, but to create family. At number 4, we reach the man who conquered everything. Gold D. Roger, the Pirate King. The man who reached the end of the Grand Line. What makes Roger special is that he didn't use a devil fruit, just pure haki, pushed to its absolute limit. In his clash with Whitebeard, their weapons didn't even touch, and yet the sky itself split. Also, he one-shot Oden, by just a skill, and fight with Garp to defeat the strongest crew in One Piece. The 2 children in his ship, they are now Emperor. Roger didn't just become the Pirate King by luck. He stood at the top, because no one could surpass him. But even Roger needed help to defeat the next name, Rox D. Xebec, a man so dangerous that his story was hidden from history. This isn't just another pirate. This is someone who aimed to rule the world itself. And the most insane part? His crew, Whitebeard, Kaido, Big Mom, monsters, all under one name. Yet, even with all that power, it took Roger and Garp together to stop him. 2 legends. That's the level we're talking about. Rox wasn't just strong, he was chaos. Number 2, Imu, the one sitting on the empty throne, the true ruler of the world. While everyone thinks the Gorosei stand at the top, they bow to Imu. And that alone already tells you this isn't a normal character. We haven't seen the full extent of this power yet. But what as we started to see? She erased Saturn from a distance, as if the decision alone was enough. And then things get even darker, because everything points to one possibility. Imu isn't new. Imu has been there since the Void Century. A presence that survived history, watched everything, controlled everything from the shadows. And if that's true, Imu might be the final enemy of Luffy. And finally, at number 1, we reach a legend that refuses to disappear. Joy Boy. This isn't just a person. This is a symbol, a name connected to the Void Century, to the ancient kingdom, to the truth of the entire world. But here's where things get even crazier. Joy Boy wasn't just part of history, he was the beginning of it. The first pirate, the one who started everything. But it doesn't stop there, because in Egghead, we got a glimpse of his presence. We see his Conqueror's Haki that let the Vice Admirals knock down and let Luffy scared. And that's what separates Joy Boy from the rest.